busy, so of course I forgive you." She didn't know the half of it. We'd only talked briefly to set up our lunch date, and I still hadn't told her about my new career as a PI. Since giving birth to Laurie, I'd managed to be involved in several murder investigations and basically had decided to launch a private investigation business. But since I didn't have a PI license, I was doing a very unofficial mentorship under Albert Galligani, an ex-cop, to hone my skills and become marketable. "Do you know the guy across the street?" I asked. Jill frowned. "What guy?" She glanced over her shoulder. "The one on the corner wearing the Smith & Wesson skull cap," I prompted. Jill remained turned away from me. "Why would I know him?" I shrugged. "I don't know. I thought he called out to you when you were crossing the street." She gripped the table in a rather alarmed way, then swiveled back to face me. "I don't know him." Something about the expression on Jill's face told me she was nervous about the man. I stared out the window, past the fog, and studied the man. He was Caucasian and looked to be in his 30s. He wore a long, dark coat and his skull cap was pulled down around his ears. "He seems to be lurking," I said. Jill waved away my concern. "This is San Francisco. There's always someone lurking." The swinging double doors at the back of the restaurant creaked open, and the hostess, who had seated me, approached. She handed us menus, then ran a hand over her frizzy red hair. "Anything to drink?" "I'll take a cup of coffee," I said. Jill bit her lip as she perused the back of the menu where the beverages were listed. "I'll take a Mexican hot chocolate." "Mexican hot chocolate? Yum." I flipped my menu over and scanned the list. The waitress nodded and turned to go. Wait, I think..." I found the entry, "Fiery hot chocolate. Muy caliente. Our own hot chocolate blend that really packs a kick. Starts creamy with a hand-scooped ganache topping and ends with a spicy wallop." "Oh, I see. Fiery, spicy kick wallop. It sounds... Jill laughed. "It's not for the weak-hearted. It's made with chipotle chili chocolate." "I'll stick with the coffee." The waitress looked at me through her eyelashes. I understood the look as a warning not to waste her time again. What attitude! She turned on her heel and disappeared through the swinging doors. "So what have you been up to?" I asked. "Catch me up on your career. I understand you're the hottest restaurant critic around." Jill sat to attention. "An accidental career. Who would have thunk it?" I balanced Laurie on my lap, letting her dig her feet into my thighs as she practiced putting her weight on her legs. She could only keep herself upright for a moment before her legs turned to jello again. "You always had a discriminating palate," I said. She giggled. "You mean I like to eat. And I know how to string a few snarky remarks together. Enough anyway to make people pay attention." In the past few months, Jill had become somewhat of an internet sensation. Her reviews were everywhere and she was always popping up on the latest foodie blog. "Your latest review went viral, right?" Jill put a finger to her mouth and eyed the moms in the corner. Although they seemed engrossed in their own conversation, Jill leaned in and whispered, "Don't talk about that, though. My picture's not out there, and I don't want people to know who I am. Not yet, anyway." I nodded. "Are you going to do a review of this place?" "If I have time." Jill shrugged. "Maybe. It's just that something's happened recently that's kind of stuck in my craw." I waited for her to continue, but instead of saying anything, she rubbed at her chin. "What is it?" I asked. "I reviewed Brent Miles' latest restaurant. Or should I say his attempt at a restaurant?" She made a face indicating how lacking she'd actually found it. "Anyway, he called me. It was very, well, frightening." "Frightening? What happened?" "He threatened me." Jill leaned across the table closer to me. "He warned me that I need to recant the review. Said I'd better make it seem sincere, or else." "Or else what?" She raised an eyebrow at me and shrugged. "I told him to stuff it. Just because he owns half of San Francisco, he thinks everyone is ready to kiss his ass. Well, he can kiss mine now, because I'm not recanting anything." Her tone surprised me. I had always known she was tough, but now she seemed downright ferocious. The hostess with the frizzy red hair returned with 2 steaming mugs in her hands. She placed my coffee in front of me, sloshing hot liquid over the top and onto the table. I pulled Laurie away protectively. The waitress didn't even notice. She merely put Jill's mug in front of her and asked, "Ready to order?"